Torgerson was par. Jackson was par. So our first four are all par.
Haley out in here joined alongside Houston head coach Garrett Chadwell. Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by after today's second round. First of all, weather elements. Yesterday, you had to...
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. We came in the fifth ranked team here in the conference and
We are looking to crown a champion among the 10 women's golf programs in the American as we welcome you to Palm Coast, Florida. It's the Hammock Beach Golf and Spa Resort for a second straight year. The champion, both teams and individuals, to be determined here on the Conservatory course. As we welcome you to the Sunshine State, Lincoln Rose, along with director on the PGA board, Glenn Lee. And Glenn, college golf at its best, and of course, where else would you rather be than in Florida to crown that champion on a championship caliber course? It has been a tight 2.5 days so far.
It has been fantastic, and seen some great play out there the last couple of days. Some different weather conditions each day, and so, but some amazing play, and I think it's going to come down to some really great final rounds today.
Plenty of drama yesterday. In fact, Haley Outen had a chance after yesterday's second day to catch up with a couple of the head coaches leading the way in the American.
Haley Outen here, joined alongside Houston head coach Garrett Chadwell. Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by after today's second round. First of all, weather elements. Yesterday, you had to beat the rain. Today, you had to beat the frigid temperatures and the wind for Florida. Anyways, how would you describe especially the weather elements today?
The thing with today was, we played practice round in a certain wind, played yesterday in a certain wind, and today was totally different than both those two winds. So it's, we literally had to learn the golf course on the fly today. So I thought that was its biggest challenge, but it was a westerly wind, and the golf course probably really isn't designed for that anyway. So it was a tough track today.
Megan Totong able to put together 2 consistent rounds here so far at the tournament. What have you liked about how she's been able to perform thus far?
I think this place sets up really well for Megan. She putts these greens really well, keeps the golf ball in play all the time. So nothing really out of the norm that we're seeing from Megan this week, but just the place really sets up well for her.
Leonie Harm bogeyed on 17 and 18, experiencing a little bit of frustration there to end today's round. How does she mentally get prepared and refreshed for tomorrow?
I think with Leo, so her biggest challenge today was yesterday she was the first group out and played 3.5 hours. Today it got really slow, so you start to struggle a little bit, so she's battling some emotions. So I think she's in a comfortable place now where she can fight her way back into it instead of kind of being the one everybody's gunning for. So I look for great things for Leo tomorrow.
Heading into the final round, your team is at the top, but only 6 strokes separate 1 and 4. Beautiful weather expected for tomorrow. How exciting is this finish going to be?
It's great. This is what we worked all year for, to come in with a lot of expectations, being a number 1 seed, highest ranked team here. We're right where we should be, and something that we've embraced and been working all year for. So we were in this position last year, just a little bigger lead this year. So we've got a lot of experience on this place that I think will really help.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Haley.
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. We came in the 5th ranked team here in the conference, and to be where we're at with the chance to win going in the last day, pleasantly surprised and proud of the girls. Yeah, it's just a lot different atmosphere, lower expectations, so I think we can be a little bit more relaxed and play a little bit more free and have fun. I mean, when you have the pressure on you to win and those expectations, that's tough in golf, and the conditions haven't been easy. That's made it even harder, so we've got 4 teams in contention to win tomorrow, and that's exciting. I thought it was really tough out there today. Yesterday was fine. Today was hard. That wind came out of the west, a different direction, and I was just proud of the girls, how they fought. It wasn't easy for anybody. Tomorrow's going to be calmer conditions, so I think we'll see lower scores, which will make exciting for the finish. Yeah, Kaylee's had a great spring. I mean, she really has been our top performer. We were without Maria. She was out with surgery. So Kaylee really had to step up, and she's done a nice job of that, and proud of her that she's in contention too. So it'll be exciting Tuesday, as it always is here, right?
I think they were a little bit harder than yesterday for sure. It's just you never know when you're going to get that gust of wind coming through. I thought it was a lot harder. We're pretty pumped up. I mean, nobody thought we were going to be in contention, that's for sure. And it's kind of awesome to be in this position again like last year. I just think trying to play it one shot at a time and just staying focused. I mean, I played out here last year. I played out here in the summer for an amateur event. I mean, I love this golf course, so it's good to be out here.
We take a look at our standings coming into this third and final day. Houston with the advantage, your top-ranked team in the American coming into this championship weekend. But, Glenn, just 6 strokes coming into this final day separated the top 4 teams.
Absolutely. You've got Memphis, UCF, and ECU right there within striking distance, all within 1 shot of each other.
You saw some inflated scores on the second day. That's when the wind really kicked in. We also saw wet conditions earlier this week It seems like every day it has been a different experience with the weather out there on the course, constant adjustments along the way. Well, players got off to an early start today as we are already underway. You look at Lane Evans this morning back on tee number 1, the junior out of Wichita for the Shockers. Was a +1 after the first day, a +8, tied for 16 coming into today, able to par that opening hole. And for Annika Strobach, a +4 coming out of yesterday, the junior out of Peru.
And she was able to make par there also on number 1.
That would be a continued theme for our individuals early on. Strobach, again, a transfer out of Fairleigh Dickinson, was tied for 7th after the first day. It would finish tied for 8th. One of the more consistent performers yesterday that we saw. And some adjustments to be made today. Again, Strobach, one of the many international players we will see on display. Mind you, Tulsa is having to keep every score. They are down 1 golfer this weekend, once again, as they have been all month. As you see, Olivia Jackson for Tulsa, or pardon me, this is Strobach attempting birdie. And we would
Comes
see a
up
couple
just
golfers.
a little short.
So Strobach came into today, again, a +4.
Great stroke here.
Evans also just shy of a birdie. Taryn Torgerson, the leader for Wichita State, coming into today. She was 2 under after day 1, a +3 coming into today. The senior, former All-Conference in Missouri Valley Conference, one of your favorites today. Olivia Jackson would also ultimately par. +1 on the first day, +3, junior out of England. And again, Olivia Jackson here, one of the best golfers Tulsa has had in recent memory.
Great shot into the green there on number 1.
Then back to Torgerson. She's going to wind up with just about every meaningful record in Shockers women's golf history when she's all said and done.
And a great effort on a long attempt there.
And again, ultimately, everybody just a tad shy of some opportunistic opportunities. For looking for birdie, finishing with par. And again, Torgerson came into today at 3 over. For UCF, ranked 77th by GolfStat in the nation, Balcazar came into today a +6. This is your freshman of the year last year, the sophomore out of Mexico. Again, the par theme would continue. As Carson for ECU.
Both drives right in the middle. Great drives. This first hole, 444 yards, plays pretty difficult for the ladies.
Again, a chilly morning, and as much as the wind played a factor this morning, nothing compared to what we saw yesterday.
Balcazar goes just a little long on that chip.
Again, another opportunity for birdie. Will come up just a couple of feet short. And Carson just off the lip.
And then a tap in for bogey there.
Balcazar.
Just a little short for the par putt and finishes up with bogey.
And again, came in today a +6. One of several who felt good about their chances coming into this final day. Then you talk about a couple of teams in the team. Jones looking for birdie there on the first.
Another putt that's come up short. That.
And then Forbrid for ECU also looking for birdie, just short.
Finishes up with par there. good start.
Senior Kaylee Jones would continue the par trend for many of our top golfers on the first hole. And then to your leaders, Tiboletti among the top 3 for Houston this week. And then Fletcher for the Tigers. Leonie Harm, the junior from Germany, came in today a +3 after a 2-under performance on the opening day. And for the Tigers, Sydney Colwell right now sits in second among the 5 Tigers on display this weekend with a +6. And then second shot from Colwell.
Comes up just a hair short.
And again, Leonie Harm, the talented junior, ranked 40th by GolfStat.
Chip shot for birdie. Comes up just a little bit short, but still makes it for an easy par.
Harm's opportunity.
Once again comes up a little short. Taps in for par there.
So again, Harm came into today a +3, your top rated player in the entire American. And Colwell with the clean finish as well. But Megan Totong with some movement yesterday was just 1 over par, almost immune to the conditions with the gusting winds, looking to make a move on this final day.
Great tee shot there on number 1, just a fantastic golf swing.
The senior Totong came into today in second. Goldenstein came into today tied for 4th with a +3.
Another fine tee shot there.
Totong with 3 straight top 8 finishes this year, looking for perhaps a title by the end of today.
Just a little bit long. Goldenstein's second shot just a little right, but still on the green with a good birdie attempt.
Goldenstein, a 2-time player of the week. Again, Totong, the senior.
Great roll, great stroke at it. Oh, just misses just a little right. Taps in for par. Goldenstein's birdie attempt. She taps in for par. Hole 7.
Yeah, we jump ahead to the 7th hole here with Britt for ECU. Sophomore out of Oslo, Norway.
Great putting stroke there, just barely misses to the left on that one.
That's your leader coming into today for Britt. This is after she tied for 13th at last year's championship on this course.
Easy par.
Taryn Torgerson's 3rd shot on the 9th hole.
Comes up a hair short, backs up about 10 feet on her. Long birdie attempt there, just misses to the right.
And on this par 5,
great tap in for par.
Well, when we come back, we'll resume live coverage, picking up with some of our leaders and watch the fantastic finish here at Hammock Beach Golf and Spa Resort, the Conservatory course, all of this part of the American Women's Golf Championships.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone. Double play ball potentially Streitenstall's over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
And once again, we welcome you back here on the American Digital Network. Live coverage the rest of the way until we finally crown both a team and individual champion in the American. Palm Coast, Florida. We're about 30 miles north of Daytona Beach, 80 miles from the campus of UCF, our host this weekend, as all 10 universities participating. That's right, 10 this year. Wichita State, the newest members of the American. As we welcome you, this is our live coverage here on the 18th hole, about to get underway, as some of our first golfers looking to complete their third and final round. Should be Annika Chickering, the sophomore from San Diego. She's a plus 16 on the opening day yesterday. Or pardon me, this is Abby Shaddix, the redshirt senior. Plus 19 coming into today.
Excellent drive down the fairway there.
Good looking start for Shaddix. Again, playing her final year out of Garden City, Kansas. Again, Nicole Marquardt for Tulsa, part of this year under interim head coach Sarah Bradley, where Tulsa this past month has only been with 4 golfers, and of course in college golf, usually you get 5 and you drop the worst score. They've been keeping the scores of each and every one of these members of the Golden Hurricane program. A lot of pressure.
She hits a great drive down the right-hand side of the fairway there on this par 5, 503-yard hole.
And Marquardt, the senior out of Long Grove, Illinois. And she'll set up for her second stroke. Last year, a WGCA All-American scholar. Actually had a hole-in-one on the par 3 8th hole last year. We saw a hole-in-one earlier this week by a USF Bull. I think as long as we can keep the alligator and hole-in-one ratio to about a 1-to-1, we're pretty happy with the weekend. Again, our first look here on this 18th hole on the Conservatory course. It's the second straight year we are here, Glenn. A par 5, 603 yards.
And a great hole, great finishing hole for the ladies, and it just will really test all their skills from each club in their bag, and I think we'll see some birdies. Certainly, we've had through the week we've had a lot of birdies so far. We've had 29 pars, 5 birdies in round 1, so that was really good.
You see the pin placement here on this final day.
And Lincoln, for both rounds, we've had 15 birdies and 59 pars and just 17 bogeys.
Yeah, this should be a great hole for our finish today.
There is a little water right by the green that could cause some trouble for some of the golfers. We did have 4 double bogeys and 3 others the first 2 days, so I think that was kind of attributed to some of the weather conditions that we had the first 2 days as well.
Again, you're looking at Nicole Marquardt getting set for her second shot here on 18. Tulsa,
just trying to figure out the course.
This has been a program on the move over the years. Won a couple of conference titles back in Conference USA as recently as 2012. Abby Shaddix finds her ball as well. Tulsa, 3 titles in the Missouri Valley Conference, 7 in the WAC, 4 national championships. If you were following the women's game back in the 80s and early 90s, they won the last ever AIAW Women's National Championship and the first NCAA title, both in 1988. A lot of rich history for Tulsa and, of course, for Wichita State. They are your most recent members. You talk about their last 5 years in the Missouri Valley Conference. Wichita State had 3 first-place finishes during that span, and those other 2 finishes runner-up under head coach Tom McCurdy. So we should see Shaddix here first. What's she looking at?
Should be playing a layup shot there, trying to get in position somewhere around the 100-yard range into the hole. Shaddix is 10 over through her first 15 holes today.
Again, here on 18, she was an even par back on Sunday. A bogey yesterday.
Nice swing there, gets it right out there and play about 100 yards out from the hole.
That'll give way back to Nicole Marquardt. Again, she, Johanna Samuelson, Annika Strobach, and Olivia Jackson, your only 4 available this week for Tulsa. 5th consecutive tournament that they've been playing down 1, with some key players like Taylor Dobson unavailable.
Marquardt 8 over for the day. Hits an iron for her second shot. Another good layup.
Again, Marquardt even here on 18 in each of her first 2 rounds for Tulsa.
And in round 2, number 18 played as one of the easier holes on the golf course. Certainly had a downwind advantage, and I think most of the players took advantage of that.
Again, all of our golfers got that practice round back on Saturday, but there's something to be said for the practice round. Sure, you get to know the layout of the course, but the conditions have changed as much as we've seen, whether it be rain or wind, and a little chill in the air, especially yesterday. Certainly constant adjustments have to be made.
And it started out pretty chilly this morning for the ladies, and then they certainly it's starting to warm up for them, and you can see they shedded a couple layers, but it turned out to be a great finishing day.
So Wichita State as a team on Sunday in 5th place out of our 10 teams, finished with a plus 14. Yesterday they were a plus 28 combined, now 42 over par collectively coming into today. Remaining in 5th place before we got started this morning. Tulsa was in 6th place after each of our first 2 days. 2 strokes back of Wichita State. And again, as they are all approaching here on 18, We'll mention Houston still with a 8-stroke lead now over East Carolina. Pirates are 2 strokes better than Memphis in 3rd. UCF a stroke behind in 4th. And you have Wichita State at, again, plus 44 right now collectively today.
And just 2 over for the day, so which is a great recovery.
Tulsa has slipped 4 spots right now, back to 10th.
Yeah, Tulsa's today at 21 over.
So we've seen Shaddix and Marquardt advance far enough that we'll be able to see Joanna Samuelson for Tulsa teeing off now, the junior from Sweden. She actually leads Tulsa this year, averaging a little over 74 strokes per 18 holes. Came in a plus 16 today.
And just 2 over through 15. Great round today for her as well.
And she's usually their leader right now, just the 3rd best weekend, which speaks well of some of her teammates. And our first ball is on the green. And a moment later, Samuelson with her tee shot.
Samuelson, great drive down the middle, right down the middle of the fairway.
Michelle Letterman, the sophomore from Bolivia, though she went to college prep school here in Florida to help ease that transition to the States. She was a plus 5 after the first day, a plus 16 coming into today.
Great drive right down the left side of the fairway.
Letterman's coming off a par on 17 a moment ago. And Marquardt again back on the move up towards the green.
Second shot, the 3rd shot just came up a little short there.
Well, and some good news for Wichita State. Taryn Torgerson back on 16 with an eagle. Will help her efforts today as she's 7 under in contention for a championship in her first year in the American. And her teammates already reaching 18th hole.
As you can see, that green has some pretty good undulation to it, so should make for a little bit of a challenging putt, but should be able to certainly navigate a good birdie attempt.
Shaddix will wait for her first putt.
Surveying her terrain there.
Yeah, and a beautiful venue here in Palm Coast, Florida. A couple years ago, Hammock Beach Golf and Spa Resort here, we were over on the Oceanside course. That's the year Houston won as an upstart program. Last year, UCF, or about 80 miles from the Knights campus, here on this course, prevailed. Shaddix and Marquardt looking to be our first 2 to finish here on our live coverage on the American Digital Network.
You can see Marquardt pacing it off. Looks like she's probably got 60 feet or so. She'll have to come up over that mound, and then it'll release back down to the hole. So an easy, a good putt, an easy one to get close, and we'll see how she navigates it. She's taking her time here as she surveys the green surface and really watching that downhill slope.
And back to Letterman for Wichita State. As you can see, the green up ahead with her teammates Shaddix and Marquardt for Tulsa. And back to the green.
Great setup there on that putting stroke. She takes a good practice stroke. A couple of those. She's ready to go. Great stroke, great roll at that. Just misses to the left side of the hole.
So Marquardt presumably will be one putt away from closing out her experience over these 3 days. And to Marquardt's teammate Annika Strobach, the junior out of Peru. A +4 coming into today.
Good swing. Another great putt on 18.
Yeah, very similar reads there. A moment ago was Marquardt for Tulsa, that being Abby Shaddix's first effort. Laney Evans, homegrown talent from Wichita, Kansas, now in her junior campaign for the Shockers. Shaddix closer.
Looks like she's got about 5 feet for par. Just misses to the right. Good putting stroke, just barely missed to the right, went right over the lip.
And Abby Shaddix will close out her first ever 3 days in the American Championship. A new home for the Wichita State this year. What an addition that athletic department has been. And Marquardt.
71 minutes on battery. 71 minutes on battery, all right?
We'll probably have to change that.
Able to tap it in.
Should finish with a 4 over for the finish today.
So the senior Marquardt with a nice finish there on 18. That's still more Shockers and Golden Hurricane as well. Again, we just saw Shaddix wrap up for Wichita State. Soon enough, we'll see Taryn Torgerson make her way to 18. She's already a -7 on the day. If she could hold that through 18, that would be a new meet record here in the American. Will records fall? Will we have new champions here in 2018? More from 18 in Palm Coast, Florida, here on the American Digital Network when we return.
University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
Tulsa and Wichita State continuing to close out their third and final round in this American Women's Championship.
They're just guys.
Here comes Torgerson.
Lincoln Rose along with Glenn Lee, and again, Shockers in their first ever championship looking to leave a mark, perhaps with a championship record from Taryn Torgerson, who we'll see soon enough tee off at 18. Thanks in part to an eagle back on 16. She has a 2-stroke advantage for the individual title.
Yeah, she made an eagle 2 on that par 4, which is amazing. So must have holed that second shot. Great, great, great for their team.
Should be Samuelson here.
She's looking at it from each direction, getting ready to really survey the putt. She'll take another read at it.
Again, you talk about the international influence for Tulsa. Just one American in their rotation of 4 this weekend. Others from Sweden, Peru, and England. But it is an experienced group, a senior and 3 juniors on display this weekend. There you see Torgerson leading the way. The senior Taryn Torgerson, again, last year all-conference in the Missouri Valley. Not only looking to break Shocker records when she wraps it up, but possibly a conference record as well could fall today.
Great birdie roll here as it comes down the hill. Just comes up a little bit short, but looks like that'll finish her with an even par round for the day, which is superb.
A little coaching for closing out on 18.
A lot of slope and undulation on this green, and certainly can give the girls some challenges as they look over these putts. And although that downhill putt is there, we've seen that ball is really slowed right there as it gets near the hole. Looks like she's got about 12 feet.
Letterman coming off a par on 17. And about to see Taryn Torgerson with her Final tee shot of the championship.
Great putt there. That should be for birdie.
Torgerson 7 under. Her tee shot on 18. She bogeyed on the first 2 days here on 18. As another couple of rounds complete. Olivia Jackson, your leader for Tulsa as a group, was 1 over par after Sunday, 3 over coming into today.
Perfect drive right down the middle.
Coming off her best finish in Tulsa's own tournament, the Dale McNamara tournament, where she finished 8th. Came into today tied for 4th. Jackson has slipped some today. Right now tied for 21st. Though coming off a bogey on 17.
Okay.
And Annika Strobach, the junior from Peru.
Great third shot into that green. Just behind the hole. About 15 feet behind the hole. Excellent shot there.
Strobach a +4 today, +8 on the weekend. And back to Evans for Wichita State. Mentioned the junior from Wichita, Kansas. Has done it, especially on the back 9 here.
Birdies on 10, 11, 14, and just a slight bogey on the par 3 12th.
And plenty of reasons to smile as she makes her way closer to the green here on 18. Again, back to Olivia Jackson. About 75 stroke average in 25 rounds played this year coming into this weekend. She shaved about 3.5 strokes off her rounds this year from a year ago. And was tied for 7th after the first day, came into today tied for 4th.
She hits an iron there for her layup, her second shot there, and lands it nicely in the fairway.
And Strobach on the green. Again, mentioned Tulsa with interim head coach Sarah Bradley, the New Zealand native. After 3 years as an assistant, now leading this squad. Talk about notable Tulsa golfers. You think of Nancy Lopez and her 48 LPGA tournament wins, including 3 majors.
At this time, it looks like Houston has a 10-stroke lead as we come into these final couple holes.
Yeah, really strong finish for Garrett Chadwell's squad. We'll see them a little bit later on this afternoon. And back to your overall individual leader. Torgerson climbed 3 spots today. It's been a battle with Britt of ECU.
Great roll down that hill from about 45 feet. Comes up just a bit short. Torgerson for her second shot. Good iron shot. Just laying it up into key position so that she can go for birdies on that third shot.
Torgerson had alternated birdies and bogeys for the first 4 holes on the back 9. That eagle, though, on 16 really has bolstered her efforts. And a nice finish by Annika Strobach. Really great way to go out here at the championship. So Annika Strobach, the junior, her job complete.
Big smiles as the girls come off the green there.
Yeah, Lainey Evans wrapped up as well. Nicolette Donovan, not too far from home. She's a junior from here in Florida. A transfer from Virginia Tech, where she started her career. Donovan right now tied for 35th overall.
So if that ball may have drifted a little right on her.
So UCF and ECU both making their way here on 18. You just saw Nicolette Donovan of the Knights, your defending champs. And for ECU, here is Catherine Ashworth. Similarly, stayed in her home state of North Carolina. Now a junior.
Good drive there by Ashworth.
Ashworth a +5 on Sunday, +18 coming into today.
She's had a few bogeys today. She's 6 over for the round.
But we still have a Golden Hurricane and a Shocker on 18. Jackson and Torgerson. Olivia Jackson on your left. We'll try to reach the green. And Jackson out of England.
Jackson over the shot. Great swing there. Right at the flag. Just going to release right down the slope there, right toward the hole. She'll have about 12 feet for birdie.
So Jackson will think about her final putts. Taryn Torgerson, her head coach, Tom McCurdy, in his 11th year. Again, they transitioned this year from the Missouri Valley Conference, where they had a great deal of success.
Next set coming.
And Torgerson able to climb 3 spots on this final day.
5 under for the day, it appears. Torgerson's playing very well.
We mentioned, though, she had bogeys on, I say bogeys, pardon me, birdies on this 18th hole, both the first and second day. See if she can have another strong finish to close it out.
And she's had 7 birdies so far today. Great round. Had a couple unfortunate bogeys on 11 and 13. Good swing on the approach into 18. Comes up about 14 feet to the left of the hole. Should be an easy birdie putt for her.
And Torgerson getting closer and closer to wrapping up the best individual round of 18 holes in an American Championship. If everything plays out the way she would like right now, 7 under on the day. Ashworth out of the sand.
Playing a difficult shot there, trying to just get it back into position where she can reach the green in 3. Now we move down to the green complex.
Olivia Jackson looking to put the punctuation on her 3 days here in Palm Coast, Florida. And a nice 17 holes so far for Patterson. Lisa Patterson, the senior from Sweden, even on the day. After being a +6 on each of the first 2 days. Looking at Olivia Jackson on your right for Tulsa. Taryn Torgerson getting ready for her first putt.
Torgerson getting ready to get over the putt. Two under for the tournament.
Yeah, she is fighting off Dorothy Forbritt of ECU. Torgerson 7 under for the day. A couple stroke advantage at the moment.
Good birdie stroke there. Oh, another birdie.
All 3 days, the 18th hole belonged to Taryn Torgerson, and perhaps an American Championship will as well.
Big smiles, big hug from her coach there. Perfect stroke, right down the hill, right in the hole.
7 under would have been your best round in this championship's history. Well, how about 8 under for Torgerson? And Jackson will have at least one more putt.
Just Just misses, just goes by on the top side. Finishes up with par.
So Tulsa and Wichita State now done with their 3 days of work here at the 2018 American Athletic Conference Championships. What a day for Torgerson. Goes 8 under for the day. And she has all but locked up that individual title. Again, Torgerson, a senior, came into this weekend on pace to break her own Wichita State program record for a 54-hole average throughout this season. Her career averages as well, the best in Shocker history. And what punctuation that would prove to be. Carly Cox getting ready for the 18th hole, the junior from China Grove, North Carolina, for the Pirates. And Pirates head coach Kevin Williams, a 85 graduate in his own right, has helped lead these Pirates to 8 NCAAs in the last decade. They did miss out last year trying to get back here in 2018. Pirates as a group were tied for third after day one, fourth place coming into today overall. But one of 4 programs that very much had a chance to lock up the team title today. So we saw Wichita State and Tulsa come through. Here's the final pairing of UCF and ECU now, as we'll see their lineup.
Cox started off the front 9 with a 31. She had 5 birdies on the front side. Then, unfortunately, on the back side, she had bogeys on 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, but followed back up with a birdie on 17. Kind of an up and down round for Cox today.
Taking a peek at our notes for the leaderboard, ECU still sits in 4th, 3 strokes back of a 2-way tie between Memphis and UCF. Houston Cougars, though, as a team, are just 10 over par for the weekend, looking to wrap up a team title. And we may have already seen your champion for the weekend, the individual in Torgerson, come through. Shockers and Golden Hurricane done for the day. When we come back, we'll resume our coverage of both UCF and ECU.
For every hero, there is an origin story, an experience that made them who they are. For a new generation of explorers, pioneers, and innovators, that experience is calling, offering a different kind of education, one guided by distinguished professors who understand experience as the best teacher. Greatness lies beyond the classroom. This is where you start. University of Cincinnati. Do more.
At SMU, students and faculty work hand in hand to shape answers to real-world challenges.
Yeah, so there's no such thing as a lesser person.
How can we strengthen human rights around the world?
It turns out computer malware is extremely...
How do we prevent cyber terrorism?
The limb comes off.
How can the human body set new records of performance? What can presidents teach us about leadership? From the SMU campus in Dallas, we're shaping the answers that will shape the future of the world.
Back to our live coverage here on the American Digital Network. You're watching the 2018 American Athletic Conference Women's Golf Championship. We'll be back here in Florida, a little bit farther south for the men's championship next Tuesday. Of course, their first round gets started this weekend on Sunday, practice round on Saturday. But we have Knights and Pirates now coming through this 18th and final hole. Lincoln Rose along with director on the PGA board, Glenn Lee, here on our ADN coverage today.
Seen some great golf so far, Lincoln. Taryn Torgerson with a 8-under round today, 5-under for the tournament. She's leading by 3 over Dorothea Forbrid, who's 2-under currently with 3 holes to go.
Again, UCF this year, just like every other year, their ultimate goal, a conference title here in the American, something they accomplished last year. They've never finished any worse than 5th. Came into today in 3rd. Right now tied for 2nd with Memphis as a team at 21 over collectively for the 3 days. Collectively, UCF is 1 under par today.
Memphis is even for the day, so they've got it neck and neck right now, and should be for a great finish here on 18.
So this should be Catherine Ashworth, the junior.
Up over the ridge. It's a great putt. Rolling back towards the hole. It's a little bit long, goes by about 7 feet.
ECU's best finish at this championship was a couple years ago when they finished 2nd to Houston.
Good drive there. Right down the right side. Just missed on the left side of the hole there. Taps in for par.
And Ashworth done for the day and for the weekend as well. Chinatsu Kobayashi, 3 over after her first day. Came into today tied for 21st at a 9 over. She's a freshman from Japan, but spent time at the IMG Academy here in Florida.
Great golf swing right down the middle on that drive.
We saw Ashworth a moment ago close out.
Just missed it on the side.
And Donovan finishes.
Donovan finishes with a bogey there. Frustrating bogey for her, I'm sure, and kind of a challenging day for her overall.
In UCF last year after their championship, graduated 3-time Conference Player of the Year Ashley Holder, as well as another all-conference golfer, and Nakayama. Catherine Carson, the freshman for ECU, makes her approach to the tee box. Maria Balcazar as well for UCF. The sophomore, last year's freshman of the year. You see Carson, freshman out of Mooresville, North Carolina. A nice weekend for her. Finished 3 under on the first day. Came in today a +4, tied for 8th. And back to Lisa Peterson. Senior from Sweden. A +12 coming into today after a +6 round on day 1.
Looks like she's got a wedge in her hand.
Lisa on Sunday, a triple bogey here on 18. Was par, though, yesterday, able to bounce back on 18.
Just misses to the left of the green right there in the fringe. It'll be an easy putt back up the hill.
And Alora Collado, the freshman from Mexico, came into today tied for 21st with a +9 overall.
Good shot from the right rough there. Comes up a little bit short, probably about 30 feet down the hill to the hole.
And back to Kobayashi. This is coming off of her tee shot.
Great drive down the left side. Hits that second shot with a long iron out to the right. Will leave her probably 100 yards or so in.
Chinatsu on day one, a par here on 18. She would birdie it yesterday. And back up to the green to Lisa Peterson for ECU and Alora Collado for UCF.
Just a slight putt right. She's putting from the fringe up the hill. Good cross-handed stroke there. Just misses to the left side. Good roll at it.
And she'll pull the pin for Ana Laura Collado, again, the freshman from Mexico. As for UCF, you see the second of the two Mexico natives in this lineup for UCF this weekend. Maria Balcazar, your freshman of the year last year in the American, came into today a +6, tied for 12th. Missed much of this year with an injury, but they are thrilled to have her here for the late pursuit of a strong showing here in Florida.
And Balcazar's had 5 birdies so far today. She's 1 under for the round.
And it'll be just off the fairway. Collado and Peterson. See how Peterson can fare from about 3 feet out.
Peterson's putt should be pretty easy for her. Good swing there right down the middle. Good lengthy drive there. Peterson taking her time on this putt. She knows it means a lot. Great putt there for par.
Senior Lisa Peterson wraps up her weekend. Now the senior looks on as the freshman for the Knights, looking to close out her first ever championship weekend in the American. One of the newcomers this year for UCF after their championship a year ago.
We'll back out to the fairway.
Once again, Lincoln Rose, Glenn Lee with you here on the American Digital Network. Let's check in with the third member of our crew, Haley Outen. Haley?
Taryn, the lowest single round in American Championship history. After struggling on the back nine yesterday, what was the mindset heading into today?
Just no regrets. I mean, this is my last collegiate round probably, and I just wanted to lay it all out there for myself and my team and just end my career on a good note. Big thanks to my coach who walked most of the day and kept me level-headed. Because this is an emotional day, just being that far under that quick and just the emotions of being at senior year conference. So big shout out to my team.
We heard the cheering on 16. Walk us through that hole for Eagle.
Yeah, I hit a really good drive right on the fairway. I had 78 yards, and Coach and I talked, and just kind of throw it a little bit past the flag and let it spin back, and I did exactly that, I guess. I had 78 yards and hit kind of a knockdown shot. It spun back about 2 feet, and
you mentioned it, you're a senior. This is your first time playing in the American Conference Championship. What has this round been like for you, this championship?
It's been awesome. I mean, people here are so good. Golf course. These are great golf leagues here. I mean, Houston, Franklin, top 20. And so to be here against and play against the best players in the country is really special. So I'm just glad to be here.
Congratulations, Karen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Lincoln?
Haley, thank you very much. You saw the emotional embrace with her head coach, Tom McCurdy. What a debut for that Shocker. In her final year, a new conference, no problem. As she could very well be your champion by the end of today. Now she just has to sit back and watch some of her probably tightest competition is about to step up to the tee box for ECU and Dorothy Forbrid. Forbrid came into today as your leader at even, but I don't think many of us could have expected the day we just saw. Kobayashi and Cox about to pull out the putter for the first time here on 18.
Both of those shots in there close to the hole. Very makeable birdie putts. Both the players on 18 will survey their putts.
Again, Cox had a birdie here on 18 in each of the first 2 rounds. It was her only birdie yesterday. One of 4 birdies coming into today. And she had a brilliant front 9 with birdies on 5 of the 9 holes. And
Great
Cox
birdie.
able to close it out.
Great birdie putt there for Cox.
I believe that will have her finish at par. Kobayashi.
Excellent putt there.
So Balcazar for UCF now. Came into today tied for 12th. 6 over par after the first 2 days.
Looks like she hit one of her longer woods there for that layup shot.
If she finishes well here on 18, she may have a top 10 showing. She has climbed here late in this final day. Right now, 5 over for the weekend. And you are looking at Dorothy Forbrid. She was the individual pushing Taryn Torgerson.
And Lincoln Dorothy's made birdies on 16 and 17 today so far, so she's looking for another one here on 18.
She is just one stroke back of Torgerson. Torgerson needed a 8-under showing today to finish 5 under for the weekend. Forbrid is 4 under today. And again, 4 under for the weekend. She was able to survive those winds that tortured a lot of other golfers yesterday.
Very confident swing there on that drive, right down the middle with that drive. Extremely long. One of the longer drives we've seen all day.
So the sophomore from also Norway on the fairway, and that'll lead us to your top golfer this weekend for UCF, Kaylee Jones. Senior from Sumterville, Florida. Started her career over at South Alabama. She's been the bright spot for the Knights with 3 top 20 finishes and a couple of top 10 showings this year. She managed a round of 65 earlier this year. That's the lowest round for any golfer in the American coming into this weekend.
And Jones is 3 under for the day. She's got a great round going as well, so they're kind of feeding off of each other.
So Dorothy Forbrid, presumably the only individual who can take that American championship away from Taryn Torgerson, who's in the proverbial clubhouse now.
Team-wise, we've still got Houston at 11 over, Memphis at 20, and UCF at 20 plus 21, tied with ECU at plus 21.
Carson for the Pirates.
Great shot there. She felt like that should have released down that hill. It just hit right up on top and didn't. It backed up on her, didn't release down the hill to the hole.
Carson, the lone freshman in the rotation for 47th ranked ECU in the golf stat standings. Balcazar gets closer to the green. Gives herself a couple of options here.
Balcazar sitting at 1 under for the day. She'd certainly like to get a birdie here to finish up that round.
Mentioned that 5 over for the weekend. She is at the moment among your top 10 in this weekend's championship.
She's tied with Evans from Wichita that finished at 5 under, is already done for the day, so she certainly has a chance to move out of that position and tie for 8th.
Yeah, Evans climbed 7 spots with her round of 69 today. You talk about a couple of shockers. Evans with a 69, Torgerson with that round of 64 today. And a lot of these scores in sharp contrast to yesterday. Very impressive after, again, yesterday, most golfers failed to be immune to the wind.
Well, the golf course conditions yesterday, the golf course played about 2 shots harder than it did the first day, and so today the conditions have been much better and certainly made for a great finishing round.
And Balcazar.
Great pitch down the hill for her 3rd shot. Will leave her about 10 feet for birdie back up the hill to the hole.
And she is paired with Catherine Carson of ECU today. And back to Kaylee Jones, your top Knight this weekend coming into today.
Watching that one closely, looks like it may have gotten just a little out of the fairway.
The freshman Carson for the Pirates.
Carson will probably have about 25 feet down the hill to that challenging putt.
Carson at the moment in line for a top 15 showing. And Britt still with a chance for a share of perhaps the championship in terms of individual title. She is one stroke back of Torgerson. Britt at 4 under for the weekend.
She takes the safe route, takes it out to just to the right of the green, lays it up. Very smart shot on her part.
Back to Dorothy's teammate, Katherine Carson. Again, Carson a freshman, Dorothy's a sophomore. You have a couple of younger players leading the way for ECU, a program that's ranked among your top 50 in the country. See how Carson handles this.
Just misses on the left-hand side, right over the lip. Great putt there down the hill.
Now the sophomore from Mexico trying to close it out.
Her second shot was one of the closer shots to the green that we've seen so far of all the players today, and put her in a position to get that easy chip down the hill. Gives her about a 10-foot putt right back up the hill into the hole. She's not wasting her time. Gets right over it. Good putt. Oh, there it is.
Just a little flare for the finish for Maria Balcazar.
Goes all the way around the hole to get her that birdie. That was fantastic. What a good finish for her.
And that should help her feel a little more confident. She's going to have a top 10 finish here in the championship. Another look.
It tried to sneak out on the bottom side of that hole, but it fell back in. Gravity kind of helped it there.
So Carson able to tap in as well. That leaves us with just one Knight and one Pirate, but some good ones. So Kaylee Jones, again, was tied for 4th after the first day, came into today among your top 3. That's where she still sits, but she has seen Torgerson and Britt with fantastic outings on this championship Tuesday. She's still 1 under for the weekend. Looking for a top 3 finish. She was par on this 18th hole, both on the first and second rounds. Three birdies today, no bogeys.
Not happy with that swing. Comes up just a little bit short. Still will give her a birdie putt, probably 45 feet or so down the slope.
We should all be so fortunate to be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Playing as well as she has.
At this level, the expectations, especially with the round she's had, she certainly wanted to get it close and try and have an easy birdie.
So Kaylee Jones looking to put the punctuation on this outing for UCF. Again, they have a chance for possibly a second place finish.
Currently UCF, ECU, and still tied, and Memphis is one behind them.
Yeah, at the moment, Houston, a 9-stroke advantage over UCF, who's in second, who's 1 stroke better than ECU, despite the showing today by Dorothy Forbritt. Dorothy needs to make up a stroke.
There we go. It releases right down the hill toward the hole. She'll have about a 15-foot birdie putt.
That's a 15-foot birdie putt to share your individual title here in 2018 with Torgerson of Wichita State.
Very important putts for these two ladies coming up.
Next step.
And Forbritt a year ago tied for 13th as a freshman in this championship.
Forbritt 4 under on this back 9. Has to be very pleased with her round. She's had birdies on 10, 11, 16, and 17. Love to cap it off with one here at 18.
Our first look at some Cougars and Tigers. For Houston, Allie Anderson. You know, we talk about her being a senior and everything that means. She's in her second and final year with the Cougars. It's given them nice consistency for the most part this year as their number 3 golfer in the lineup. After transferring over from Colorado State back home, she grew up in the Woodlands just north of Houston.
Anderson made a great swing on that layup shot there in 18.
Here's your final Pirate. And this is a big putt for Forbritt. A chance, if she can drain it, to share the individual title here in 2018.
Getting a little bit of help from her coach there.
And for Memphis, Madison Thomas, the junior, came into today tied for 21st at a 9 over par coming into the day. Jones
gives it a good roll down the slope. Oh, just misses on the bottom side of the hole. Rolls by about 3 feet. Should leave her for 3 feet for par. Excellent try there for her birdie.
Jones and Forbritt have been quite the pairing for UCF and ECU here. They'll each finish likely in the top 3. But Forbritt looking for a share of the hardware. Torgerson of Wichita State finished 5 under for the 3 days. Forbritt is 4 under for the 3 days with this putt for birdie. It would make her 5 under for the day as well.
Takes her time as she lines up over it. Great putting stroke. Takes about 4 practice strokes there. It's on its way. And she makes it.
And it will be a share of the championship here in 2018 for the sophomore from Norwood, Dorothy Forbritt, with a 5 under final day to finish 5 under and tied with Wichita State's Taryn Torgerson.
Birdie's the last 3 holes to catch Torgerson.
That makes her 4 strokes better than Kaylee Jones and Megan Totong of UCF in Houston. And there is the aforementioned Jones. Who is looking like she will finish among the top 3, right behind your 2 winners. And Jones last year as a junior, part of that championship squad for UCF. So we have seen the Shockers, Golden Hurricane, Knights, and Pirates wrap up. We see the Cougars and Tigers start to take over here on the 18th. Anderson and Thomas approaching the green, while Ellick and Herman have already hit their tee shots. Houston has been your leader through the first couple of days. They were 3 under on Sunday. They would go to 3 over on Sunday, 14 over on Monday's round for 17 over coming into today. That was still 5 strokes better than Memphis, who was giving them chase along with UCF.
And they have Totong and Harm, both Totong respectively 1 under for the day or for the tournament, and Harm even for the tournament, 3 under for the day.
Anderson.
Great shot, backs it up right behind the hole there. Fantastic shot into 18.
Heard from Garrett Chadwell for Houston. This program's right where he expected it to be coming into this weekend, and at this point in the weekend. Essentially has the same lineup he had last year. Remember, Houston is a young golf program. Garrett Chadwell in his 5th year started this program, and they have not missed out on an NCAA region since being eligible after their first year. Not many programs can say they've been to the NCAA every single year that they've been eligible. That you presume will continue to be the case this year.
No doubt, something really to be proud of with a very young program. Some great players there.
Madison Thomas, the junior from Shelbyville, Kentucky, was tied for 7th after Sunday, tied for 21st coming into today at a +9 overall for the weekend.
Little half shot there into 18. Gets it just over the ridge. A little bit long. Right back on the fringe, but she'll have an easy, about 15-foot birdie putt back into the hole.
Looking to bounce back from a bogey on 17. Yesterday, we saw her birdie this hole. And back to Abby Herman, the sophomore from Pensacola, over in the panhandle of the state. Came into today tied for 16th at a combined 8 over par.
Abby's is 2 over for the day, and would love to see a birdie here on 18. Both our players approach the green, going to line up their putts.
Again, Anderson is one of the 3 seniors in this lineup for Houston. Houston ranked 23rd coming into the weekend by GolfStat. But Anderson, unlike the other 2 seniors, hasn't spent all 4 years with the Cougars. We saw her classmates, Tiboletti and Totong, help build this program from essentially day one. As Courtney Tiboletti and the South African Michaela Fletcher for Memphis making their way up to the tee box. Each with the 3rd best showing this weekend for their respective programs.
Tiboletti coming to the key there with a -1 for the day, and I believe Fletcher's 2 over for the day.
Total team effort for Houston in this pursuit of their 2nd championship in 3 years. Houston won again 2 years ago here at this resort, but over on the ocean course at Hammock Beach. We are on for a 2nd straight year, the Conservatory course. Thomas just off the green.
Still some wind conditions today, but nothing like they experienced the first 2 days. Oh, stops right on the edge of the hole. Great effort.
Where's that wind when you need it?
Exactly.
Thomas able to tap it in. She's done for her 3 days. Memphis climbed from a tie for third on Sunday yesterday, able to finish in second place to enter this final day behind these Houston Cougars with whom they are paired on this Championship Tuesday. Anderson, a couple of birdies today, a couple of bogeys today.
Goes right over the edge. You'd love to have seen that to get a birdie to finish up her round and finish 1 under, but she finishes it even.
So after birding the 18th hole yesterday, she'll finish even on the par 5 today. And for the second year Houston Cougar, the senior, her showing done on this Championship Tuesday. Back to Amanda Ellick for the Cougars. Sophomore out of Oregon, from West Lynn, Oregon. Came into today tied for 16th. And she's tied with Abby Herman, with whom she's paired for Memphis.
4 over today. Looks like she's trying to go for the green in 2.
Appears to have paid off.
Great shot there.
Well, your third time around on a hole, you think you start to notice some opportunities you can take advantage of. All right, so Michaela Fletcher, the redshirt junior out of South Africa, came into today tied for 14th. That's 7 over par through the first 2 days. Now sits tied for 18th. 3 bogeys on the front 9, a birdie here on the back 9. Let's get back over to the Tiger for Memphis. And Abby Herman.
A pitching wedge. Brings it in nice and high. Lands it right behind the hole, sucks it back about 6 feet. Great shot, just below the hole.
Well, you're starting to see why both Houston and Memphis have had the showing they have on this championship stretch at Hammock Beach Resort. Courtney Tiboletti, one of your 4-year seniors for the Cougars.
Happy with that swing, just down the right side.
So both Fletcher and Tiboletti will depart the tee box and head to the fairway as we skip back over to the green and rejoin Houston's Amanda Ellick and Memphis's Abby Herman.
And Ellick looks to have an eagle putt from about 60 feet to just come up and then back over the ridge and down to the hole. We've had no eagles so far on 18.
Meanwhile, for Memphis, you see Sydney Caldwell, whose average score per round of 73.5 strokes ranks third in the American this year. And Leonie Harm, who's been battling her own teammate, Megan Totong, for one of your top showings this week.
And Leonie is 4 under for the day. She made birdie on 16, par on 17, so she's certainly looking for a birdie here at 18.
Leo's your top-rated American golfer. Top-rated golfer out of this conference at 40th in the Golf Stat individual rankings.
I know she was Player of the Week at least 2 weeks there in March, so she's been had a great season so far.
Back to her teammate, Ellick, the sophomore.
Pacing that long eagle putt off, hopefully to make it pay off.
Ellick has parred the last 4 holes after a couple of bogeys. Houston as a whole right now a 10-stroke advantage over both UCF and ECU, each of whom are 20 over. Memphis 21 over for the weekend. Of course, UCF and ECU are already now done with their third and final rounds. This appears to be the Cougars' title if they can finish.
Eagle here could get Ellick into the top 20. So with the stroke. Gets it working down the hill, back toward the hole. Great putt there, comes up just a little bit short.
And Amanda Ellick again came into this final hole, a plus 12 on the weekend, a plus 4 today. And she'll finish under her own terms.
Great birdie finish there. She came up just short of the bunker. Great layup shot there, right back in the fairway. Leave her an easy shot into the green for her third shot.
As Michaela Fletcher back to her teammate Abby Herman on the green.
Herman misses just to the right for her birdie. Finishes up with an easy tap-in par. A little disappointing for her.
The sophomore, the youngest player in the rotation for Memphis this year. Now to the senior for the Cougars, Tiboletti.
Tiboletti lays that up right in the middle of the fairway. Good position to go for her third shot for get in there close for birdie.
There's Leonie Harm for Houston, Sydney Caldwell for Memphis. Leonie 4 under today. Harm finished 3rd last year as a sophomore. She had set the American record at 6 under par for a round of 66 on day 1 last year. Of course, that was the record that fell.
Fantastic swing there at 18 for Harm.
When Torgerson was 8 under today. See the Cougars in the bag and the Tigers as well. Now Caldwell, the junior from Tucson, Arizona.
Great swing there by Cole just down the right side. She's made 4 birdies today, 1 bogey. She's still sits at 3 under.
Yeah, Sydney's been climbing today, now up among your top 7 golfers, jumping 5 spots from when we got started this morning. And back to Michaela Fletcher of Memphis. And your top golfers this weekend for the Tigers and Cougars, Emily Goldenstein as well as Megan Toton. Each seniors, and what careers they've had, and also looking to close out their time in the American with one last hole. You tried not to get too sentimental until after that last putt.
That's right. Here's Fletcher from the fairway. She's 2 over for the day. She's 1 under on the back 9, had a 39 on the front, a little bit of a rough start, but certainly has rallied on this back 9. Love to see a birdie here on 18. Great swing there with a short iron. One of the best third shots we've seen of the day. Brings it in about 4 feet away. Should be a very makeable birdie putt for her.
Yeah, after a par on this par 5, each of her first 2 days here on 18, looking to pick up her first birdie on 18, her final hole of the weekend. And from Fletcher, back over to Courtney Tiboletti. Senior out of Huntsville, Texas, grew up just north of Houston.
Tiboletti 1 under for the day, having a great round. A birdie and a bogey on this back 9, 2 birdies and a bogey on the front 9.
And she is tied for 8th right now. She's one of several movers among the top 10.
Really nice swing there. Lands it just at the hole, backs it up about 3 feet. Just leave her about 6 or 7 feet for birdie just down the hill. Very good shot. See them approach the green.
Tiboletti 1 under for the day. And over to the sand.
Good solid shot out of that deep bunker. Gets it out to the fairway, maybe a little bit longer and a little further away from the green she'd like, but certainly will be able to hit her third shot into the green. Still have a makeable birdie opportunity.
Yeah, par 5 here on 18.
We've seen a lot of things happen, a lot of action here on 18. All right, as we go back to the green, they'll be lining up their birdie putts.
And this is Leonie Harm. Came into today tied for 4th. Still sits there tied for 4th at 1 under for the weekend. Her teammate Tiboletti
Tiboletti tied for 8th right now. Great birdie.
A lot of smiles here on 18. A lot of individuals with strong showings, high expectations this weekend. Among them, Courtney Tiboletti. Here's your 55th ranked player in the country, Megan Totong. Again, one of your 2 4-year seniors for Houston who helped build this program under head coach Garrett Chadwell. Totong grew out just outside of Dallas at Plano West High School. That's a high school that can be anywhere from 5,000 to 6,000 students, one of your bigger public schools in Texas.
And a great, great high school program there. Totong's had 4 birdies and an eagle today. Unfortunately, she's had 3 bogeys, but really solid round for her.
And for Memphis, you see Goldenstein, the senior out of Chesterfield, Missouri, a 2-time Player of the Week in the American this year. She was 1 under par, tied for top 4 after the first day. Came into today tied among your top 4 as well at 3 over. Again, score slightly inflated. She is dipped now to 6th place at the moment with a 2 over for the tournament.
1 under for the day. She's had 2 birdies on this back 9. She's trying to rally back a little bit, so she's doing well.
And she's one of the golfers that Taryn Torgerson passed today, with Torgerson's 8 under showing on this final day. 5 under for the weekend, as Torgerson and ECU's Britt will split your individual championships for 2018. And what a story. Leonie Harm, the junior out of Germany when she was 15 years old, hit by a drunk driver, sent into a coma, and when the doctors saw her state, they basically said 99.5% of the time someone in this state does not survive, and they even mentioned the words, she has no hope.
That's amazing. And now look at her today.
The main side effect, a loss of some hearing. And yet here she stands, one of your top golfers in the nation, ranked 40th coming into this weekend. A couple of years ago, as a freshman, became the only Houston Cougar to ever make it individually to the NCAA championships. That still holds to be true. She's trying to get back this year, possibly bring some teammates with her. Easily among the top international amateurs that we'll see in the college game. And mentioned last year set championship record for a round of 18. Today, though, that was toppled by 2 strokes by Taryn Torgerson.
Running to get a better position to see it. And it's just to the left of the hole, probably 12 feet. Very makeable birdie putt for Harm.
And Houston with the benefit of 2 top 55 players to close things out. Houston could very well wrap up 3 top 10 showings. Even 3 top 8 showings here today. Memphis with a couple in the top 10 as well. Goldenstein and Colwell both wrapping up here. Again, Totong, 3 straight top 8 finishes right now. She is among your top 3. And she's actually 1 stroke better than Kaylee Jones of UCF, who we saw wrap up a moment ago.
Totong goes back and gets the hybrid over the long iron. Make sure she has plenty of room to get it up in a position so that she can attack that pin from the far right side to make a birdie. That second shot into safe position.
And now back up to Caldwell for Memphis. She's climbed 5 spots today, +3 now for the weekend, 3 under for the day. And she sits in 7th, a stroke back of her own teammate Goldenstein. 4 birdies today, 1 bogey.
This putt goes up and over the ridge and will slope back down to the hole, probably 65, 70 feet. It's a bit of a challenging putt, but I'm sure she's up for it. Left hand low putting stroke. Stroke back, gets it rolling up over the hill. Slides by on the right side, goes by about 8 feet.
And today she's been matched up with Leonie Harm of Houston. Caldwell came in today tied for 12th. And has certainly improved her standing here on this final day. Here is Harm.
Just to the left of the hole, about 12 feet. Putt shouldn't have a lot of movement to it. Should be pretty straight right up the hill.
Harm tied with Kaylee Jones at 1 under for the weekend. Jones of UCF, she's a stroke back now of Totong, her teammate, for 3rd.
Great birdie there by Totong.
So she will finish 2 under, 3 strokes back of your winners this weekend, and right now even with Megan Totong, who's on her heels.
Great birdie there for Harm.
Caldwell ranks 3rd in this conference and strokes per 18.
Knocks it in.
Averages a 73.5 per round. And a final embrace for Harm after their 18 holes together today. That leaves just 1 Cougar and 1 Tiger. Cougars looking to put the punctuation on an American Conference championship today. It would be their 2nd title in 3 years, both here at this resort, but on separate courses. Totong at the moment sitting in 3rd in a tie with Leonie Harm, who just wrapped up with a 2 under.
Totong kicked that hybrid out to the right a little bit, maybe just behind that bunker.
Goldenstein right now, sole possession of 6th place, 2 over for the weekend, 1 under par today. Again, a lot of strong showings on Sunday, yesterday. Most of those scores affected by the stiff winds and the chilly temperatures. A nice bounce back round here on this championship Tuesday.
Weather certainly improved today. made it much more playable, a lot more birdies on the golf course, a lot better scores overall. So it's been a fantastic day.
Yeah, temperatures in the mid-60s with the sun out. Here in Palm Coast, about an hour south of Jacksonville.
Great swing there. Approach just to the right, turns back, moves back toward the hole. She'll probably have about 7 feet.
Seniors on the green. Hoping to wrap things up for the Tigers. Totong. Her Cougars 8 over par for the weekend. I say weekend out of habit, but for the 3 days, Sunday, Monday, and today. That'd be a nice weekend, wouldn't it?
It'd be a great weekend. Totong hits it just to the right of the hole, spins it back, brings it back down about 8 feet from the hole, just above the hole a little bit. Be a nice, easy putt down the hill.
There's a 3-way tie right now for second at 20 over. UCF and ECU are already done. Memphis at 20 over has a chance to lock up second place behind Houston. As you see the final 2 golf balls awaiting that hole here in 2018. 6th, Wichita State captures the individual title with Torgerson. Finishes 6th in their first ever American Championship in women's golf. I mentioned UCF and ECU.
Not yet. I think they're just
will both finish among the top 4. Cougars look on. We know they have a future ahead of them in the NCAA regionals. An upstart program that looks like anything but.
They've been fantastic all weekend, and certainly have proven their spot here and have a great finish. 8 under for the day, and certainly working very well for their overall team score. Totong lines up. She'll be the first to putt.
In Totong right now, tied with her own teammate Leonie Harm for 3rd at 2 under for the 3-day championship. Harm was 5 under today. Totong 3 under today. Goldenstein is 1 under today, 2 over for the 3 days.
And Team Houston is 10 under for the day.
And you'd expect nothing less from Goldenstein with the year she has had.
Great birdie there for Goldenstein.
And the career that the senior has had.
Now Totong will go. I think she allowed Goldenstein to putt first so she didn't have to step on her mark there.
Well, perhaps appropriate that Houston will have the final putt of 2018. It was 2 years ago at the then sophomore program. Captured it here at Hammock Beach Resort over on the Ocean Course. And it'll fall for Totong, and with it, the Houston Cougars are now your 2-time champions in the American, as they, the class on this 3-day stretch in Florida. Totong with the punctuation.
Final round of 11 under for the Houston team. What a fantastic finish there. Lots of smiles, lots of hugs.
What a total team effort. Anderson, Ellick, Tiboletti, Harm, and Totong. Harm and Totong each with top 4 showings.
Thank you.
Cougars wind up with 3 of the top 7. With Tiboletti finishing 7th. And so much to be proud of for Garrett Chadwell's program.
Certainly some tears of joy there as they come off the green on 18. Fantastic finish for the Houston Cougars.
Well, they led from wire to wire Sunday and Monday, and finally here on this Tuesday, they finish atop your scoreboard here in the American.
I'm Kirk Smith, and this is my story. I'm a captain of TU's track and cross country teams, and I'm a Rhodes Scholar. My life's pretty simple. I run, I work, and then I run some more. My research focuses on combating climate change by driving down the cost of energy storage. And that's my story, so far.
For every hero, there is an origin story. An experience that made them who they are. For a new generation of explorers, pioneers, and innovators, that experience is calling, offering a different kind of education, one guided by distinguished professors who understand experience is the best teacher. Greatness lies beyond the classroom. This is where you start. University of Cincinnati. Do more.
When learning creates leaders, ideas are ignited, focus gets sharper, and service connects generations. We commit our expertise to heal, to discover, and to drive our region forward to a brighter tomorrow. East Carolina University. Tomorrow starts here.
In a city known for doing things our way, there's a university that's driven to do the same, to blur the outdated line between academic pursuits and active ones, not just to learn, but to experience, to create, solve, build, to explore and express, to lead. Because an education isn't something you get, it's something you do.
At SMU, students and faculty work hand in hand to shape answers to real-world challenges.
Yes, there's no such thing as a lesser person.
How can we strengthen human rights around the world?
It turns out computer malware is extreme.
How do we prevent cyber terrorism?
The limb comes off.
How can the human body set new records of performance? What can presidents teach us about leadership? From the SMU campus in Dallas, we're shaping the answers that will shape the future of the world.
People say we're big. Wow. Well, what is big?
This is big.
It's an energy. An opportunity. So go on. Dream big. Because big is just the beginning.
I got it.
Welcome back. Houston Cougars have locked up the team title. Of course, a little bit earlier we saw Taryn Torgerson with a championship record 8 under showing today. That led her to a 5 under par for the week. Of course, Britt on her final putt able to pull 5 under as well. Let's listen into our rules official before a playoff before our Shocker and Pirate. See who will hit off the tee first. Torgerson climbed 3 spots on the final day. Britt started the day in first and needed a birdie putt here on 18. Oh, perhaps a half hour ago.
Torgerson's birdied 18 all 3 days. Britt just birdied it today, made pars on the first 2 rounds.
Lincoln Rose along with Glenn Lee here on the American Digital Network. We'll have Haley Outen again back with us. She had that conversation with Taryn after she broke a championship record last year of what was 66 strokes, today 64 strokes, to surpass Leonie Harm's championship record, showing now 8 under par is the new mark.
She had 8 birdies and an eagle today. An unbelievable round overall, just certainly a scoring record.
That eagle on 16.
Anytime you make eagle, it's certainly a feat. But to make eagle on a 347-yard par 4 was even a bigger feat in the final round of this championship.
So Britt will have the benefit of going second. Sophomore out of Oslo, Norway. Again, last year was tied for 13th. Has made great strides from her freshman campaign on this very course.
Great swing there by Britt. She had 6 birdies on the day and 1 bogey, just 1 bogey on the scorecard, but phenomenal around 31 on the back 9.
Shot a 74 on Sunday, a 70 yesterday. Britt was one of the few who actually enjoyed the breeze. Talking about again the sophomore from Norway, and a 67 today. Torgerson a 70 on Sunday, a 77 yesterday. And then today, again, a championship record 64. We'll step aside when we come back. Playoff coverage continues here on ADN.
Wichita State University is Shocker Nation. We exceed expectations, push boundaries, seize opportunities, and move boldly ahead. We are student-centered and innovation-driven. It's who we are. Our vision is simple but powerful. Create, innovate, collaborate, and celebrate. With one unifying purpose: to shock the world.
When learning creates leaders, ideas are ignited, focus gets sharper, and service connects generations. We commit our expertise to heal, to discover, and to drive our region forward to a brighter tomorrow. East Carolina University. Tomorrow starts here.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save,
a clutch hit,
and a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions
while at the game.
The American.
Power.
Power. Power.
Power for life.
So Dorothy, after her tee shot, trying to get on the green. Her Pirates ranked 47th in the country, finished tied with UCF for second at 20 over par for the weekend. 14 strokes back of the Houston Cougars, who finished 6 over par. Right now, an individual title on the line in this playoff on the 18th hole.
Forward finished her round with birdies on 16, 17, and 18 today, so certainly is feeling good about how she's hitting the ball and how she's playing.
And her head coach, Kevin Williams, a 1985 graduate of ECU, mentioned that they missed out on the NCAAs last year, but have been to 8 in the last 10 years.
She's certainly looking at both different angles, and looks like she's going to take an iron and just lay it up and put it in a safe position there just before the bunker.
You can see Torgerson's ball.
Another great golf swing by Forward. Like it ended up in good position.
And the sophomore locked up with the senior Taryn Torgerson of Wichita State. And despite a course record, I should say championship record for Torgerson, she could still be denied the individual title by the sophomore for ECU.
Torgerson played her back 9 and 4 under with 4 birdies, an eagle, and a couple bogeys at 11 and 13, but still an amazing back 9 for her.
She was a part of some team titles in the Missouri Valley Conference.
You see her checking the wind there, possibly looking at going more toward the green than the typical layup that we've seen today.
Again, when she came off 18 for the final round, we had our interview with her along with Haley. There was a chance that was it, but she knew there was a chance on the leaderboard that Forward could force this playoff. So she did not drift too far away from the hole.
And Forward finishing with those 3 birdies to capture and catch up with her was fantastic.
Again, Houston, your team champion. Memphis ultimately would slip, as ECU and UCF would be tied for second. Memphis would finish 21 over, while ECU and UCF at 20 over. Wichita State would be 5th after each day, including today.
Torgerson taking a fairway medal. Looks like she's going a little bit more direct line at the green. She's taking her time over this shot.
Again, a par 5.
Playing 503 yards a day. She hits that second shot. She leans back. Probably about 40 yards short of the green. Looks like it'll be a very easy short pitch into the green. As we see.
Our first playoff hole, Torgerson and Forward. One of them, by the end of the day, will be your individual champion in the American.
Oh, that ball is hit deep. Left field. Way back. That ball is gone.
Double play ball potentially. Schreitenstal's over to first. In time. Double play, and that ends the game.
Student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
A big save.
a clutch hit.
And a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right. Power is respecting an opponent, officials,
Student athletes, coaches, and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments.
Profanities or other improper actions.
While at the game.
The American.
Power.
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 Power for life.
Well, both of our competitors 2 strokes in to this playoff. We'll talk about par, but par no longer matters. And Forbridge just moments ago. Her second shot got wet. Again, this was moments ago on her drop.
She gets to drop it a second time. Then she'll get to place it.
How about that on a playoff?
Some real misfortune. That ball got on that downhill slope, that left slope, and kicked into the water for her. She lies 4. That ball releases down, probably 6 feet from the hole, just above the hole. Give her a shot at par.
A nice recovery by the sophomore. Taryn Torgerson, of course, with the slightly more traditional path to the green. There's another look moments ago.
Hits that 3/4 wedge, gets it over the ridge, and it releases down to the hole. So it's a good outcome after a disappointing second shot.
So Forbridge came into today as your leader at even. Torgerson came in today tied for 4th. She had been 3 over through the first 2 days.
And Torgerson hits it behind the hole, just about 8 feet to the right of the hole. A very makeable birdie putt for her, and an opportunity to win the championship.
So putters will be drawn with a championship here in the playoff to be determined. Well, remember Forbrid, last time that she was lining up this putt, it was to force the playoff.
Hard to tell which putter will go first, which player will have to putt first, but I believe Forbrid will be first to putt, so it'll really force the issue. She'll have to make this for par. I guess they're going to measure it now. See which player is further away, which player will play first. Have a rules official out there. So it looks like Torgerson's further away, so she'll putt first. Again, both players just about 8 feet away. Torgerson will look at it from both sides of the hole as she lines it up. Forbrid will be watching the way her putt breaks as well from the other side of the hole, trying to get a better angle on it.
And Torgerson still with a chance to win it with a birdie.
She makes this putt here, she is the champion.
While Forbrid is staring at a putt for par.
Torgerson will take her time with this. Just lining it up carefully. Kind of get the feel for that distance. And a little assistance from her coach there, helping her get lined up.
She set the new championship record for round of 18 with a day of 64 today. And she will clinch the playoff with the birdie back on 18. And the senior Taryn Torgerson is your 2018 American champion. What an individual performance by the Shocker in her first and final year in the American Athletic Conference.
And that just caps off a fantastic day with 64 on the golf course in the final round, and then birdie in the first hole of the playoff. As her teammates give her the little bath with the water there, the celebration. Very solid birdie on 18, first hole of the playoff holder.
So Torgerson holds off Dorothy Forbrid for the playoff victory. Forbrid will finish second, a couple of Cougars in third and fourth. And plenty of memories made over these 3 days in Palm Coast, Florida.
Some excellent scores today. Lots of the scores under par. Much better than the first 2 days.
Well, we mentioned second straight year here on the Conservatory course. And for the second time today, we're going to have a chance to hear from Taryn Torgerson. After her record day, she saw it as 64. Ultimately, that would lead to the playoff. A playoff she would clinch on the birdie. Let's check back in with Haley and Taryn.
I'm joined by the 2018 individual American champion, Taryn. Congratulations on this win. You shot a tournament single round record and had to wait to see if that score would hold. When Dorothea Forbid tied it to send it to a playoff, what was your reaction?
I mean, it was stressful watching it, but I did everything I could to put myself in this spot. So whatever she did, I mean, we're gonna go play it off, or whatever happens, happens. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Playing 18 in the playoff for the championship, how did you handle that pressure?
I've been in a couple playoffs in college before, which I think has helped me a lot, and just having coach there kind of keep me level-headed and just kind of talk to me and get my mind off of what's happening, and it's just another golf hole. I mean, just trying not to make it any more of it than it is, and just trust my process and trust my abilities.
You experienced a lot of emotion following the conclusion of today's round, and then again here so in the playoff. How would you describe this moment as a senior?
I have no words. I really don't. This has been an incredible journey here, and I can't thank all of these people that came to watch me enough, and my coaches and my teammates, and we're going to celebrate this one together. And our team played great today. I mean, we had a great team round, and that's something good to take into next year as well.
Thanks a lot, Taryn. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Lincoln?
Haley, thank you very much. We thought perhaps the first time we heard from Taryn that would be it for a young lady who, on Tom McCurdy's squad, able to do so much in his first year. Wichita State as a team will finish in the top half of the American with a 5th place showing today. But Taryn Torgerson leaving her mark. You just can't get over it. A 64 on this final day. She's then still asked to come back to 18 for the playoff, and she comes through with the birdie.
Comes with the birdie. 4 birdies on 18 for 4 different for 3 days, and then in the playoff hole, just a fantastic finish. But also, we certainly have to give great applause to Dorothy Forbert. She came back and made birdie on 18 to tie her. Just a great finish to a great championship.
Well, she grew up about an hour outside of Wichita in Buhler, Kansas. She has left her mark as a shocker, owning just about every meaningful single-season mark in average as well as career. And all the best to Taryn Torgerson, your 2018 American Athletic Conference Women's Individual Champion. Of course, the team titles went to Houston. When we come back, after we step aside for several minutes, we'll come back with the final ceremony with some hardware to be handed out to the Cougars, as well as that shocker, Taryn Torgerson. Stay tuned here on the American Digital Network.
congratulate all the competitors here. I want to say a couple of thank yous really fast. The host here at Hammock Beach, UCF operations staff did a phenomenal job for us all week. Ben Herring and his rules officials, my goodness. Hats off to all of them. So if you wouldn't mind helping me thank them. Really appreciate it. I also have our sport committee here, so helping me make these awards presentations. We have Becky Endicott, our committee chair and senior associate athletic director from Wichita State. We have Brad Strickland, our executive associate athletic director from UCF, and David Bassity, senior associate athletics director from the University of Houston. To start, all right.
Good job.
Yep. Wonderful. All right, to begin the award ceremony, honoring the 2018 American Athletic Conference Women's Golf Individual Runner-Up with a 54-hole score of 211 from East Carolina University, Dorothea Forbridge. Congratulations. And now for the 2018 American Athletic Conference Women's Golf Individual Champion with a 54-hole score of 211 and with a birdie on the first playoff hole from Wichita State University. Congratulations, Taryn Torgerson. Taryn, congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. This word? Okay. Hi. I just want to thank all the people for the American Conference for making this week possible. Everybody at Hammock Beach, the golf course is in incredible shape. Great playing today in that playoff and everything. Congrats to Houston on the team win, and I just want to thank all my family. They came down here and supported me, my teammates and coaches. Nonetheless, they made this possible and pushed me to get better every day. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Great. All right. What a great addition to the conference. Welcome, Wichita State. The 2018 Women's Golf Championship co-runner-up with a score of 884, East Carolina University. Please come on up.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, for you and your team.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Somebody else.
Yeah, congrats, Kevin.
Thanks. Good job,
yeah,
Kevin.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we'd also like to congratulate our co-runners-up from UCF. Come on up, coach and players.
Congratulations, ladies. Great job. Good job. Got it? Okay, there you go. Yep, you got it.
Hey, congratulations.
Is she taking it home?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Finders keepers. All right, now for the trophy of the day. The 2018 American Athletic Conference Women's Golf Champions. Congratulations to the University of Houston Cougars with a score of 870. Wonderful. Garrett, do you mind saying a couple of words?
I will.
Yep.
I just want to give a couple of thank yous for before we get out of here. I see Jeff back in the back from the Conservatory. Jeff, thank you guys for all your hard work this week and allowing us to use your facility for a great championship. Mm-hmm. Ben in the back, I think we get to play in a lot of places, and Ben, your staff, you addressed us on the first tee of you guys really are here to help, and you guys carried that out through the whole week, and I know these girls play a lot of summer golf and different championships, but I haven't met a better staff than you have of allowing us to play with freedom and really being an asset to this championship. So thank you for all your hard work that you guys put in this week. Kat and her staff, everybody loves coming to the beach, and I know you guys love coming down here too from the north, but the sacrifices you guys make to put on a great championship for our student athletes doesn't go unnoticed by our group, so thank you guys for all your hard work. We had a couple parents come here and feed us this week and have been with us all year, so Scott and Kim, thank you guys so much for all you do for us throughout the year, not just this week. Basti put on his red shorts at the turn, and I think that helped keep us through the back nine. But Basti, thank you for spending the week with us too. Lucy, thank you for everything that you do for this program. I've been an assistant coach before, and I know they don't get a lot of recognition, but it's been a joy to watch you take this program to higher heights, and we're glad that you're a part of what we do day in, day out. My team, that was fun to watch today. We've challenged them all year to take the next step in going into final rounds, and we've struggled a little bit throughout the year, but today they really proved what they're made of. To sit there and watch that is some stuff that we'll cherish for the rest of our lives, to watch those shots that they hit in competition. So thank you guys very much for taking us along this ride with you guys, and look forward to the next month of competing and hoping to accomplish a lot more things. So thank you all very much.
Congratulations. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you and congratulations, everybody, family, friends. Please travel home safe, and thank you for supporting American Athletic Conference Women's Golf.
So the Houston Cougars were 14 strokes better than the rest of the competition to claim their second title in 3 years. Glenn, this was you talk about a team effort from top to bottom for that Cougars lineup.
No doubt. You have 3 of their players finish in the top 10. That's just unsurmountable for the rest of the field, and they played great today, and just amazing finish.
Garrett Chadwell again with the lineup today of Allie Anderson, Amanda Ellick, Courtney Tiboletti, and of course the 2 nationally ranked players in Leonie Harm and Megan Totong. So Lincoln Rose, Glenn Lee with you. About another chance here in a moment to check in with some of our key Cougars in this championship pursuit. Mentioned they had 3 seniors playing in their final matchup here in conference play. Essentially the same lineup they had a year ago. This is a young group, talking about a program that's young, that's never finished worse than 3rd in this challenging conference. But the Cougars +6 on the day. UCF and East Carolina both at +20, Memphis at a +21. The top 4 programs really stood out today, and you mentioned those 3 individual efforts of Tiboletti, Harm, and Totong to lead the way, including 2 of the top 4, 3 of the top 7 individual showings.
No doubt, and Houston had their 4 players today. All of them were even or under par today. So an unbelievable show they put on.
So Houston will have NCAA Regional to look forward to next. As in a moment, we'll have a chance to check in with Megan Totong, who just outdueled her own teammate Leonie Harm for 3rd in the individual standings. Totong, you talk about her weekend finishes 3 under par for the 3 days, including today's 4 under performance. And, of course, Harm 1 stroke back of her, 2 under for the weekend, 5 under on the day. And let's go ahead and take this opportunity to check in with Megan Totong. She's with our Haley Outen.
Yeah, you're good.
Megan, 3 consistent days for you on this course. How did you mentally prepare to head into today's final round, taking in the lead as a team?
Honestly, we've been telling each other the whole year pretty much, we're a family, we play for each other, and really just playing the way we know we can, and just being out there and being free and not getting in our own way, really.
What was the biggest challenge you personally had to overcome on this course?
I would say the wind, and just knowing, we played here last year, and just overcoming, all those challenges. But definitely, I would say the conditions this year. Luckily, they did a great job with rain and everything like that early, before the tournament started. So just the conditions of the wind, I would say, was really what made it difficult.
Second team title in 3 years. How does this one compare to the first now that you're a senior?
I told them, I was like, after the round, I tried not to think about it because I really just wanted to play, my game, and I wanted us to play our game. But I told them, I was like, I don't think I've ever wanted anything more on the golf course than I wanted, this conference championship with them. And you can see it was just so emotional. We have 3 seniors that are leaving that are currently playing on the team. So it meant so much to be able to, pull through and just play the way we know we can. So.
4-year senior and 4 years of team golf at the University of Houston. What has this journey been like for you to be a part of just the beginning of the history for Houston women's golf?
Yeah, it's insane because, coming into the program, I took a leap of faith, and it's funny because there was no way I thought that we'd come this far in such a short amount of time. And, that was the main reason I came here, is because I knew I'd want to make history for the program. But if you would have told me when I walked in as a freshman that we'd be doing things like this, it would have been amazing just to see that happen. So,
well, congratulations on a wonderful career, and good luck to your team the rest of the way in the postseason.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Haley. There with Megan Totong. We'll have a chance to check back in with Haley hopefully here in a moment. But we remind you today here at Hammock Beach Golf and Spa Resort, the Conservatory course in Palm Coast. Next Tuesday, 1 week from today, we'll be going from the Atlantic Ocean side, over to the Gulf Coast side to Palm Harbor, Florida, where it'll be the men's championship over at the Innsbrook Golf and Spa Resort, right back here on the American Digital Network. Let's check back in with the championship-winning head coach now, as he's with Haley.
I'm now joined by Houston head coach Garrett Chadwell. Coach, second team title in 3 years. What was your message to the team following today's round?
Well, just, our goal the whole week was just to run our race. That we would just be fine.
3 top 10 individual finishes. Who surprised you this week?
It was really cool to see Courtney Tiboletti finish the way she did. For her to be able to be an all-conference person her senior year, making a birdie on 18. Megan and Leonie have been steady all year, and we've kind of rode them for the last 4 years, really, in a sense. But just to see Courtney Tiboletti make that putt on 18, Allie had struggled all week, and to watch her play well this week, and Amanda, played well. We didn't kick out a bad score, really. So, but really, honestly, just to see Courtney make that putt on 18 was really cool to see.
How has this program been able to achieve such consistent success in just a short amount of time?
It's the kids. It's crazy just to watch some kids that really took a chance on us. They weren't really heavily recruited when we started the program, and they bought into what we wanted to accomplish, and they just take off running, and we get to just kind of follow behind and watch them do what they do. We got compliments on just how well they treated the rules officials, how well they treated people in scoring, and so that means the most to me. And then you get to add a championship on top of that. It's just such a special week.
I know there's some seniors in this program that took a chance to come to Houston and play golf. How have they impacted the future of Houston women's golf?
It's crazy. We graduate 5 this year, 5 next year. So, we get to come back with some more seniors next year, and 4 freshmen coming in next year. So hopefully we reload with that. But, they've set a bar pretty high. To win 2 conference championships really in 4 years of program existence is, to say that we imagined that is a lie. But, the fact that they've been in the final group the last, really 3 years is pretty impressive. These kids work their tail off day in, day out, make great grades, don't get in trouble. So, this is a bonus.
I spoke to you 2 years ago when this program won its first conference championship. You were emotional then, and you're emotional today as well. How does this one compare?
I told them this is sweeter. We've rode them pretty hard this year, and to get them to this point and just keep pushing, it wasn't just, we just called them up to be great, and it's pretty sweet.
Congratulations, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way in the postseason.
Thanks, Haley.
Thanks.
Thank you, Haley. Again, Garrett Chadwell started this program 5 years ago. You can see just how emotionally he is invested in this program. So Taryn Torgerson, after a round of 64, sets the new standard for a single round and the playoff victory past Dorothea Forbert of ECU. A day in which we saw USS junior Nani Merchan with a hole-in-one back on 17, but a total team effort for the Houston Cougars for the second time in 3 years. The Houston Cougars are your American champions. As for Glenn Lee, Haley Outen, our entire American Digital Network crew, I'm Lincoln Rose. Next time you'll hear from us this weekend in Dallas, SMU will host the men's and women's tennis championships here on ADN. Then 1 week from today, the men's championships out on the course back here in Florida.